Hello. Hi, friends. So, if you didn't have a chance to see my live yesterday, welcome. If you saw yesterday's live and you're like, oh my gosh, it's part two, I'm back. Welcome back. Um, so I'm streaming this in multiple places right now. So I know that a lot of times people are used to me answering comments. And if I don't comment, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's because I'm going in multiple places right now to be able to share this message out. So in case you missed yesterday, the reason I'm doing this live series and the reason it's called How Rude is because some of the feedback that I've been getting from clients and from people in my space is that the thing that they love the most to hear from me is those moments where I say things that really make them kind of go like, oh, and like look at things from a different perspective and that feel a little oofy or a little activating and also are super helpful. So I decided to do this series as a lead up to our new YouTube show slash podcast that's going to be coming in at the end of January, beginning of February. And I'm just so excited to get into today because today's live is, well, it's extra spicy, not from a like adult content perspective, but from a like, I'm gonna say some things. Okay. So if you're ready for me to say some things, buckle up, buttercup, because here we go. Now, a lot of you know, and some of you don't. So we have every year we run a 9-month certificate program at the Institute for Trauma and Psychological Safety, where I'm the CEO. And that program is it's a foundational program for people who want to learn about trauma and about resilience and about their nervous systems and about how to have better relationships with their kids and their parents and their siblings and their coworkers and their everybody's in their life, right? And one of the things that we decided to do this year was to host our first annual TRIPS conference. And in the back end, we call this the TRIPS Toe Dip because this is a 3-day virtual event where you can get a taste of everything that you will be learning inside of our 9-month foundational program. And the reason we're doing this is because it's a lot, right? It's a lot. And there is one objection. There is one both it's an objection and a reason for doing the thing, right? Sometimes the reason that we say we don't want to do the thing is actually the reason that we should do the thing or that it would be helpful for us to do the thing. And one of the things that we hear the most, I hear this when I go and consult places and I'm talking to people about how they're struggling to get their employees or their students or their clients to do things, right? Their clients, their students, their employees, their family members, they're stuck. Or I'm coaching people who actually say like, hey, I need help because I'm stuck. I've said this. I would say that in the coaching community and in the educational, professional development, corporate, like in those areas where we are trying to help people, we use that term all the time. We talk about people being stuck, right? And people will say, I just feel stuck. I don't feel like I know what to do. And something that I've found after hearing this probably thousands of times at this point in my life, in teaching, in working in the hospital and helping people change, in leading projects, in getting my doctorate, in being a parent, in being a wife, in being a business owner myself, in coaching other leaders and business owners, in all of these places, right? When I've heard people say, I'm stuck a lot. And what's fascinating is that statement gets said the same way, and yet there are multiple things that statement can mean when someone says it. And so the assessment is, I'm not moving, right? I'm not moving forward. I'm not making a choice. I'm falling behind from everyone else who is moving forward. I'm feeling trapped. I'm feeling aimless. I'm feeling a lot of different things. I'm judging my situation in a lot of different ways. And we wrap it all up in, I'm stuck. And being stuck is one of the most misunderstood concepts because we forget that this can mean a lot of different things. And so one of the most, honestly, re-traumatizing things that I see that we do in the coaching communities, in the leadership communities, in the development communities. What we do is we say, oh, well, you just need to blink, right? You just need to blink. You just need to move. You just need to make a decision. You just need to try something. You just need to get going. You just need to get unstuck. And I don't know about y'all, but if you've ever felt stuck, if you've judged yourself as stuck, whether it's aimless or trapped or confused or exhausted or like whatever the reason is for you judging yourself, assessing yourself as being stuck, that's like telling somebody who's super upset to calm down, right? If I'm super dysregulated and you're like, just calm down. How does that go? How does it go when we tell people to calm down? Doesn't go that well. Get me mad and tell me to calm down, you're going to get the opposite of that sometimes, especially if you're somebody that I love, because if you're someone I love, you know that that's not something I want to hear. So some of you watching this, and this is where I'm just, like my heart is hurting, honestly, because I've been in this game for a minute. I've been in the sales game. I've been in the coaching game. I've been in the leadership game for a hot minute. Okay, y'all, I am no spring chicken. Tomorrow's my 37th birthday. I've been doing this for a second, okay? One of the things that just, oh gosh, it burns my toast. It really, really bothers me is that, like, I could sell to y'all and get you unstuck. There are so many people out there who sell to people who say they feel stuck. And the way they do it is they're like, I have the magic thing to help you move, right? I can help you get to this result that you want super quickly, and you're just going to be able to be unstuck. And I could sell to people like that, right? I look out in the world every day and I see so many people who could use our stuff at the Institute. So many people who I'm like, man, if we could work together, I could really help them. If they paid $222 for this conference ticket, knowing the business model they have and knowing their zone of genius and knowing all those things, man, this person could make 100 grand. They could make 500 grand. They could have a 7-figure business. I look out at people who have relationships and I'm like, man, if they got their butts in this program, if they decided to do that, gosh, this could have such amazing results for them. And the reason I don't do that, the reason why I don't sell that way, the reason why we don't operate and sell that way at the Institute is because we're not assessing why you're stuck. And we're not assessing, when I sell that way, I'm not checking in with you and even seeing if you need to move. You might not need to move yet. It might actually be dangerous for you to move right now. It might be dangerous for you to go ahead and get into motion. It might not be beneficial for you to move yet because you don't know where you're trying to go. You think you're trying to go in a specific direction, and that's not the direction that is actually beneficial for you. That's actually going to be the right move for you. And so many people, I see them just buying program after program after program, trying to get unstuck. Or I see people not doing anything because they feel stuck. They've judged themselves as stuck. And so today I want to talk about what stuck actually is, because you're not stuck. You're not stuck. You're something else. And I'm going to talk through the potentials of the other things you might be. And the other part of this is that, and my team talked to me, they were like, Lee, when you do these lives, you got to talk about this because you don't talk about this and it's something people need. Some of y'all have been saying I'm stuck for a really long time. You have felt stuck for a really long time. And every year, every month, every day you wake up, you're like, man, I did the same thing. Man, I said I was going to change and I didn't change. I said I was going to do the thing and I didn't do the thing. I said I was going to move in this direction and I didn't move. I said I was going to figure this out and I didn't figure this out. I said I was going to do this. Or some of you are like, I'm just like pretending that I don't even feel this way. And I'm waking up and it's been a year and I'm like, oh, shoot, it's been another year and I'm still stuck. It's been another year and I'm still in the relationship and it hasn't changed. It's been another year and I'm still in the job and I didn't start the business. It's been another year and I still am working in the business and it's not working. It's been another year. It's been another blank. Choose your amount of time. And honestly, the pandemic has like really highlighted this. When I look out at people, when I look out at the world and I see people who feel stuck. I've been in business for 7 years now, and there are people who have been following me for the entire 7 years, that every year we have a conversation and they're like, or every year there's a check-in of like, oh man, like I'm going to work with you one day, or I'm going to do this thing one day, or this is going to happen one day, one day, one day, one day. Well, guess what? There's a day that's going to come where there's not one more day. One of the exercises that we did in our business collective, we have a business collective filled with amazing entrepreneurs who are really focused in on creating trauma-sensitive businesses. And this might sound weird, like a weird exercise to do in a trauma-sensitive space. However, there's a lot of container setting. There's a lot of trust and safety in this space. And so the exercise we did was, if you woke up tomorrow and you found out that you had 24 hours to live. And when you found out you had 24 hours to live, what also you got shown, like that was the opening scene of the movie. And then the movie cut to all of the things that you could have had in your life had you believed in yourself, had you decided that you were worthy of movement, had you decided that you were going to, right? Had you decided to be kind to yourself. We talked about this yesterday. If you didn't see that, go watch it. You decided to be kind to yourself, right? You stopped being mean to yourself and you stopped being nice to yourself. You didn't tell yourself lies. You didn't say the thing that felt better in the moment that actually hurt you long term. And you also weren't mean to yourself in the moment. If you saw that and you had 24 hours left, what is the thing that you would go do, right? If you saw that movie of all the things you could have had, all the things you could have done, and you've got 24 hours to just have one of those things, what's the thing you would go do or go get or go experience? My goal is to watch that movie and go, oh, actually, there's no movie. I did the things, right? And it's so funny how the universe works, because there's a coach in another sphere that was talking about this, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm planning on talking about this. This is so cool. We keep having some of the same ideas. I love that. And that must mean that it's something that people need to hear, right? It means that this is something that collectively people are needing to hear. If you are in the same position you were in, or in a worse position that you were in 2020, 2021, 2022. Number one, this isn't me hear me. Be kind to yourself here. Be kind to yourself here, please. This isn't an exercise that we do to self-flagellate, to beat ourselves up. This is not that type of exercise. This is an exercise of discernment. This is an exercise of importance. This is an exercise of prioritization. Right? What matters to you? What matters to you, and where are you feeling stuck around that? And here's why this exercise is helpful. Not to try to spur you into movement. This exercise is helpful because if you see what's really important to you and you look at your life right now and you go, okay, what's the gap here? The reason that we need to be able to look at that and go, wow, why am I showing up today in this way when I want my future to look like this? Why am I doing that? So many of us ask that question, gosh, why am I doing this? Why am I self-sabotaging? Why am I hurting myself? Why am I not moving? Why am I staying stuck? Again, you're being mean. You're being mean because those aren't questions, those are judgments. You're not actually asking the question from a place of curiosity and saying, why am I not doing this? And actually looking for the answer. And here's why that question, that question being asked from a place of curiosity, is important. Because when you ask yourself that question from a place of curiosity, What you're looking for is something entirely different than when you ask yourself that question from a place of judgment. When I say, oh, why am I like this? Why am I not doing this? Why am I not changing? Why am I still stuck? And I'm asking from a place of judgment. What I'm doing is I'm really asking myself, why do I keep self-sabotaging? Why do I keep hurting myself? And you're mad at yourself and you're being mean at yourself because you're hurting yourself, which, by the way, is very ironic, because why would we get mad at ourselves for hurting ourselves and then hurt ourselves by judging ourselves in this mean way? Doesn't make a lot of sense. Yet we're really good at it, right? Really good at that. When we ask the question from curiosity, what we're really asking is not, why am I self-sabotaging like this? Why am I hurting myself like this? The question is, how am I protecting myself? How am I protecting myself? Here's one of the things that we teach. We'll talk about way more about this at the TRIPS conference in January. And we will also talk a lot about this we really go into this in our 9-month foundational program. So we are all mammals. I know we're humans and we like to think of ourselves as evolved and super logical and rational and oh yeah, I make amazing decisions. Guess what? No, we don't. Not a lot. And here's why. We're mammals. We are animals. And about 90% of our nervous system and our brain is mammalian/reptilian, meaning it's unconscious, it's subconscious, and it's highly attached to emotion. 90% of our brain is focused on keeping us alive, not keeping us happy. It's focused on surviving, not thriving. And the other part is focused on how things feel. Not on how we think about things. It's focused on how we feel about things. And how we feel about things is directly tied to if our brain thinks something is safe or not. If something causes me to feel pain, there's a part of my brain that's like, dude, why are you doing that? That's dangerous. Stop. That's part of why we self-protect, right? A large majority of our brain is focused on keeping us out of pain and alive. And so if I'm going to make a decision that causes me some pain in the short term and actually makes my life easier in the long term, my brain is going to fight that. Because my brain's going, wait, you're causing us pain? We don't like pain. Pain's bad. Pain means we're dying. We can't. No. What you're deciding to stop doing this thing? No. Or you're deciding to make this move? No. Don't do that. There's a part of your brain doing that, even though the logical, rational part of your brain is like, hey, this is actually super healthy for us. This is beneficial for us. This is going to do some really great things for us. That part of your brain that's like, no, don't do that. That is potentially dangerous, is screaming and jawing in the background. Okay, so that's the first part. We've got this whole animal system that, if we don't understand it, really works to protect us in a way that actually kind of hurts us in the long term.